Hey guys, Tito here for Veda Day 22. And I think I'm going to take a little break from Veda today in honor of the man, the icon, the legend that we lost yesterday, April the 21st. The man, the artist formerly known as Prince. Prince Rogers Nelson, I believe his full name was. As many of you know, we lost Prince yesterday, and I mean, it was deep. I didn't know. Well, here in Nigeria, I didn't know so many Nigerians knew Prince. I knew people knew Prince, but, yesterday when it happened, I was seeing, people changing their avatars and their DPs all over the place, putting up the icon or putting up Prince's picture, and it was touching. And losing Prince, or, having him, leave this world, I guess, surprisingly, I feel it more than I did when Michael Jackson died, because I'm an 80s kid, right? So I grew up, like a bunch of other 80s kids with Michael Jackson right at the top there. And Prince was there too, he was on the scene. And I remember when we were really young, there were always those debates and those arguments that who's better, who's the better dancer, who's the more, electrifying performer, Michael Jackson or Prince. And I loved Michael Jackson, and there will never be another Mike, but there also may never be another Prince as well. When Michael Jackson passed away, I don't know, it didn't hit me as much as I thought it would. But when Prince died yesterday, it took some time to sink in, but I felt it a lot more than when Mike passed away. I don't know. Leaving that for now, the whole reason why people are mourning and remembering Prince, where do I even begin? Okay, first of all, on CNN, I was surprised. They're playing Prince tracks, between, like, at the end of their reports. And I was like, wow, CNN is playing Prince. But then I remembered that Prince was on Warner Music or Warner Brother Music or something like that. And, Time Warner owns CNN, Warner Music, Warner Brothers, Time, so it's all the same company or parent, under the same parent company. Aside from him being a legend, of course. But yeah, so that happened, and there was this guy, a lawyer who was a friend of Prince, and he spoke of how generous Prince was and how magnanimous he was, and how how inspiring, how supportive Prince was. And that's the funny thing about Prince. As elusive or as much of a recluse as he was, a lot of people kind of know the kind of guy he was. First of all, everyone, both people in the industry and fans like myself, kind of knew that Prince was a straight shooter. That he was a man of few words, especially in public, but everyone knew that he was the kind of guy that told it like it was and kept it real with everyone. If he didn't like something, he didn't like something. Or if he didn't like someone, he didn't like someone. And it wasn't really personal. You'd feel it wasn't personal, but you'd feel it was about the issue and not the personality or the individual. And there are loads of people that are going to miss Prince. First of all, rebels and non-conformists like myself. We are going to miss Prince the most, because he was like the poster child, was like the icon for people that will not conform. And this really stems from what happened, I think, in the 80s, or I think late 80s, when the record label had some issues with Prince, told him that he couldn't use his name, he couldn't have access to his catalog and whatnot. And that's what actually led to him changing, well, that and a few other things led to him changing his name to the symbol, something that people could not pronounce or could not steal. So, but luckily they went to court, he got his catalog back, and he got his name back as well. So, but that whole battle with the industry and how things happened back then, Prince wasn't having it, and it was very public. He was very public about his standpoint on industry-related things. Even with his style, that's another set of people that are going to miss Prince, the fashion industry. He was very controversial with his style, very fashion-forward, and even the way he dressed. Sometimes Prince would look very feminine in his way of dressing, or very flamboyant. And people that, dress flamboyantly, and people that take risks, fashion-wise, they will surely miss Prince, because he was a kind of a fashion icon as well. So, the non-conformists will miss him, fashionistas or fashion industry people will miss him. Who else will miss him? People that love the color purple, not the movie, but the actual color. I'm wearing purple as well. And I do wear purple from time to time. But people that love the color purple will miss Prince because he wore a lot of purple. There was purple in a lot of Prince's branding. Guitarists, I know a couple of friends who are guitarists and whatnot, shout out Femile. So I know people like Femi are going to miss Prince. He was an iconic musician. He was a multi-instrumentalist, but I think he was best known for his, playing of the guitar, and he played it all the time in his shows or in most of the performances that you'd see him on TV or online. So guitarists will miss him, the music industry will miss him. Yeah, just the fact that he was such a non-conformist. I mean, you guys know, you kind of get the vibe of who he was and the fact that he didn't socialize and he didn't play the politics or cozy up to people like they often do in his industry. And so many people in the industry respected him and said so many nice things about him. I'll really miss the jokes about Prince and how Prince can steal your girl and all that. Jamie Foxx had every comedian had like some really good jokes about Prince, but everybody respected Prince. And some of the Prince songs that I loved, I have different favorites, but I can't say this is my one favorite Prince song. For example, in primary school, right, when I was really young, I think like 89 or something, the Batman movie, the first Batman movie came out, and I think Prince did like most of the soundtrack of that movie. So he had is it Party Man or something like that, and then Bat Dance. I love those videos. And that song, I think Bat Dance in particular was my favorite song back then. I loved it for the longest time. And then in the early 90s, there was Seven, and that was a favorite song of myself. And I remember myself and Retia singing that song, just singing along to that song back in the day in primary school. So yeah, there was Seven, there was is it Sexy MF or something? That was a favorite of mine too. That was very controversial. Diamonds and Pearls was a favorite of mine in the 90s as well. And then The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. The Most Beautiful Girl in the World was a favorite for a long time. And do you remember when they used to play that at like all the beauty pageants back in the days on television? So yeah. So those are my favorites. But then when I became an adult, I think my favorites became When Doves Cry and Purple Rain. So I think maybe those are my favorites like right now. I won't be surprised if I discover some new ones. And I have new favorites, but he had so many iconic songs, and his song Time, that was an epic song. And the lyrics, if you listen to Time and you listen to the lyrics, they played it yesterday on the radio when the news broke, and you listen to the lyrics, and a lot of things that he said in the song are still relevant today. Things about like racism and rebellion and youth and just violence and police brutality or oppression and whatnot, and how time just, even though it progresses, things tend to stay the same. The lyrics are really deep. If you haven't listened to Time by Prince, you should. So I mean, he had so many iconic hits, and I only know a handful, but I mean, he certainly did make an impact on me and on the generation and on his industry. And another reason why I like Prince, or I really liked him, was because he was very influential in the soul, funk, and R&B scene or genres. I'm very into soul. I love soul music, and I don't think there's a soul musician that will say that Prince did not affect them or influence their sound. Musicians like Maxwell and Music Soul Child, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, maybe even The Roots. They're rappers, but there's a lot of soul infusion in their music. Justin Timberlake, Pharrell Williams. I remember seeing an interview of Pharrell Williams on television a while ago, and the interviewer asked him that you met Prince. What did Prince have to say about you? And even Pharrell sounded like he was starstruck, that he was in awe, and Prince must have thought that, oh, this crazy kid, who are you again? So, but I mean, my point is, even icons and celebrities looked at Prince as an icon. And I mean, in our lifetime, I don't know if we'll ever see anyone quite like Prince. So hey, Prince, R.I.P. Your music lives on, and we'll miss you. And yeah, it is what it is. So that's pretty much it from me, guys, for Veda Day 22. Today's tag is, what's the nicest thing someone has done for you? And I don't know. I feel like there's almost no point talking about that. But I can't even think of the nicest thing that someone has. People have done really nice things for me, but something that is really nice or that really touches me when people do it is when people think of me. Like if I'm visiting a friend and they buy like my favorite drink, or they prepare my favorite meal, or they keep something aside for me and they give it to me and they say, "Oh, I knew you were coming and I know you like this, so I got it for you." Wow, I mean, it gives me a case of the warm and fuzzies essentially. So yeah, whenever that happens, but that doesn't happen that often. So yeah, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. This was weird. It sounded like me rambling, but hey, all in honor of the artist formerly known as Prince. Do you guys like the diagram, the symbol that I drew? I'm pretty proud of that. It's in purple too.